Donald Trump still dominating, but he may have some company. The billionaire businessman remains the frontrunner in the Republican race for president, while Dr. Ben Carson holds a close second. That's according to a new NBC News Wall Street Journal poll. With the backing of 25% of Republican primary voters, Trump, this is his highest level of support in the poll since entering the race. Carson gets the support of 22%, remaining well within the margin of error. His first-place rival, Marco Rubio, third place, and Ted Cruz and Jeb Bush rounding out the top five. And what may be something of a surprise, look at this. Carly Fiorina, she's at number 6, seeing her support falling from 11 in September to only 7 points now. All right, first let's get to Trump. Judge, what do you think about this? I mean, they have thrown everything they can at that man. He's been involved in all these media back and forths. He's in one now. We're going to talk about that in a minute. He's still maintaining a lead.
He is. He's the ever-ready bunny there. He's just going on and on. But I'm more concerned about the split of people who don't want to support a candidate, whether it's Bush or it's Trump, because the party seems so divided now. And I think it's one of the reasons that I think Biden will jump in, because of Hillary's problems and also because the Republican Party is so divided that I don't know that they can get a consensus, whether it's Trump who ends up coming out or Bush who ends up coming out. There's so much hatred on the other side for people who they feel are either rhinos or establishment or whatever, that I don't know that Republicans can get it together to bring anybody to the winning.
Well, we see this, Harris, with the Republican Party so often. They're always eating their own, whereas Democrats seem to keep it inside the family. I mean, at that DNC debate last week, they barely took shots at frontrunner Hillary Clinton. And people are saying, well, if Trump and Carson team up, they would be unbeatable. I mean, they could just dominate the primaries.
Yeah, all we found out is that poor Bernie's tired of those damn emails. Those are his words, Mom. Sorry, I cussed. You know what? To your point, though, Judge, I'm drilling down on the numbers in the polling today, and this really stands out. Trump has gained ground when it comes to whether potential voters would back him, because the big question, remember, early on was people love him, but would they pull the lever? Would they push the button? Would they, click the Chad? But now 59% are in that camp that say yes, compared to 47% not long ago. So he's gaining ground for those people who say, you know what, on the big day, I might be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. You guys follow elections much more than I do. I follow people who go to prison, particularly the ones I send there. But in the elections, in the election area, do we see this every election where there are people who say, I'd never vote for that guy, and then they come around later and support him? Or is this something new where people are so steadfast against a particular candidate?
Gillian, I mean, you've worked in 2 administrations. You worked for George W. Bush. This election seems to be different than any other. I mean, it seems to be so anti-establishment, but also the frontrunner usually doesn't maintain this large of a lead for this long. So what do you think's going on besides anti-establishment?
Yeah, I mean, it's a crazy kind of combination of factors this year, right?
Yeah.
You've got folks from a diverse array of backgrounds. We, in other years, haven't had, neurosurgeons and reality stars and all business moguls all competing for this, going into the primaries.
Yeah.
And so that's really kind of jazzing up.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that a lot of Republicans feel betrayed by the party. That we put you in, you asked for the House and Senate, we gave you the House and Senate, and they feel like you still did nothing for us, so we want new people.
Kennedy, you've been not bullish on Carly Fiorina, but you've predicted, that she would do well in these debates, but she hasn't been able to maintain this lead. She's in the single digits now.
Yeah.
What is it about her? I mean, I've seen editorials. The Daily Beast said that she's, Bush in a pantsuit. I mean, they've tried to paint her
It's hard
as an establishment candidate, but she's not.
Okay, but I'll tell you what it is. It's hard to define what a Fiorina Republican is. People who are fans of Donald Trump, they know exactly who they are. Reagan Republicans, they know who they are. But what does it mean to be a Fiorina Republican? So, what she's had going for her most is her debate performance. But I don't know that she's got the solid ideology that coalesces voters behind her, which seems to be very necessary in this campaign, as Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders are evidence of.
All right, well, we were talking